Welcome to this week's edition of Wolves Weekly. I'm your host, Mark Colachico, the Director of Media Relations here at Western Oregon University. I'm joined today by head track and field coach Mike Johnson. Mike, how are we doing today?
I'm just coming in from outside from practice. We're having a practice right now, so we're taking about 5-10 minutes out here to say hello and talk about last weekend.
Well, we appreciate it.
And maybe next weekend.
Yes, and we appreciate that. And let's talk a little bit about last weekend. You guys were competing at the GNAC Indoor Track and Field Championships out in Nampa. Really good performances on your part.
Well, we had 2 or 3 people hit national standards or improve their national standards. Cody Warner, won the 200 in 2160, good mark. Brady Beagley, Emmy Collier, those people really did a fine job. So we had those national marks that we're after. We had some conference champions. We set meet records and one GNAC record, and a lot of people, I think, probably 80% of the squad had season's bests or personal bests in the in the 2 days of competition.
And talk a little bit about first off Cody Warner's win in the 200, and then placed in the top 3 in the 60-meter hurdles. Talk a little bit about his 200 race. Kind of let the fans in on it that maybe weren't there to see it. Was it something that he led throughout, or give us kind of a...
it's a 200, so in 21.6 seconds it gets over pretty quickly. And he's in the flat 60, not the 60 hurdles. But it was a race just by design. He was in lane 5. It was it's a very good lane on that track. And the athlete from Western Washington, the previous meet record holder, Denisian, was inside of him, and so Denisian was able to see him. But I think it was the fact Cody just had a good feel, executed a great race, came off the turn well, and was able to accelerate. If you're familiar with bank tracks, you can almost run downhill towards the finish. And really, that's a little bit of what he did. He and Denisian both, and both of them are really fine athletes. And he was just fortunate enough to stay focused and be able to come out ahead.
And then switch that from a quick race, like you say, 21 seconds, it's over pretty quick, to the mile, where Brady seemed like he kind of came on near the end to win that race.
Well, it's exactly what he did, but he knew the field. And in this race, and he doesn't always do that, but in this race he figured it would be pretty competitive. He saved distance. He was on the rail the entire distance to the last 250, and then he was able to take the lead authoritatively, get a gap, and stay in front to the finish.
Well, like you say, 2 great races by 2 quality student athletes here at Western, both in Cody Warner and Brady Beagley. And then let's look a little bit ahead to this week. You guys are heading up to Seattle Pacific for the Last Chance Qualifier. Are you guys going to bring a select few athletes that have a chance to qualify, or how are you going to work that?
Sure. Well, in 2 or 3 different ways. Certainly we have those people who are looking at the national standard. And then we also have those people that will help them get it. I don't mean so much in pace setters, but it's good to have a work group and a group of people that go in and make a race have some authority, when we're there. But we'd really like to think that for those people, we're also trying to get them great season in marks and set them up for the outdoor as well. And for some of them, freshmen, sophomore people, they will themselves be in a similar situation soon. And so this isn't just coaching for this year, but for next year and the year after, to try and give them the appropriate experience that they need to be successful.
And then kind of moving, hurdling, as you would say in track, from that one on to the nationals. On the guys' side, there's a handful of people that have met provisional marks. Kind of fill the fans in as to how are those athletes going to take those provisional marks and potentially make it to nationals, without obviously the automatic?
Right. There's 2 marks, a provisional mark and an automatic mark, and an AQ and a PQ. And the AQs are usually set to let between 3 and 5 people make that mark, and then they're in the meet. They know they're in the meet. And the provisional marks have a standard which a number of people will achieve, probably 30 or more will achieve, but they only take 16 people into the final field in 12 relays and 12 combined event athletes into the field. So it gets incredibly competitive, and those standards haven't been adjusted since we've brought probably another 40 members into Division II. And so the competition continues to improve. And once we finish this week, then we'll, on Sunday, make our declarations. The committee will review the declarations and pretty much draw a line and see the people that fall in the top 16 that will be in the meet, or 12, as the case may be, depending on event. And then sometimes, well, there's usually probably another 17 or 20 places available in the meet to fill. Sometimes we'll get 17, you know, throughout the field, and so we'll have a little bit of growth, but it's incredibly competitive. Right. And you know, we see some bright light available for the people that we have in those positions right now.
Well, and like we say, fans, just a reminder, the Wolves will be in action this weekend up at the SPU Last Chance meet. That'll happen up in Seattle on Saturday, so be sure to get on the road and check that out. Many athletes from here are going to be trying to make that either AQ or PQ mark in order to get to the NCAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Championships, which will actually take place in Bloomington, Alabama, or Birmingham, Alabama. Sorry. And that'll be later on in the month. But Coach, we wish you guys good luck this week. Great job at the indoors this last weekend. Good job there. But fans, just tune into Wolves Weekly on every week to find out more about the track and field team as they transition from the indoor season to the outdoor season. But as always, we'll see you next week, and go Wolves.
Thank you.